Hey there everyone, I just found this footage from over 25 years ago of my grandson when I was teaching him how to ride. Proper body position, proper clutch usage, all the things that are going to make your rider safer and more ready in 2 days. So let's start with how to use the clutch properly without releasing it too fast, without releasing it too slowly. Always slowly is better. Proper throttle positioning so that the bike is going to go forward when you let that clutch out. So 2 fingers on the clutch, maybe the whole hand if you need to. Get the RPMs up a little bit. Let the clutch out just enough till you feel like it wants to go. Then once you feel like it wants to go, let the clutch out very slow. Do not let the clutch out fast, just whenever you think it's ready to go. The slower you let it out, the smoother it's going to go, the better traction you're going to get. My rule is, if you dump the clutch too fast or stall the motor, each one of those you're going to have to do it 3 more times. So right there he knows that's
Hey,
3
Dad,
more
guess
added
what?
to whatever it is we're going to
I'm
do
running this clutch.
till he gets it proper. Feed the clutch slowly. Do not let it out fast as soon as you think it's going to go. If you tear my grass up at all, that's going to be 3 more for sure. Once they let the clutch out, they get it going, let them ride around just for a second, not too long. You got to come back, you got to do it again till you get it proper. Smooth clutch release. There you go. That's what you want. Once he's got it done on the flat, then I put him on a little tiny bit of an uphill, so he has to use a little bit more control over the clutch. Otherwise, the bike is going to stall or it's going to loop out on you, one or the other. Continue to do this until it's right, until it's smooth every single time. Now you have control of the motorcycle whenever you get ready to take off. Okay, now that we have the clutch down, let's practice standing and sitting in the proper position. What would the proper position be? When you're sitting, absolutely stay forward on the bike. And again, hey, maybe we need to work on that clutch release a little bit more. As soon as you're standing, make sure that you stand up with your legs straight and your head over the front end. This is going to allow you to have more control over the front end of the bike whenever you're standing. The more you bend your leg, the more your weight is going to go toward the back, which is going to take control off of the front end. Leaning forward is good. Make sure you're leaning forward when you're standing. Make sure you're leaning a little forward whenever you're sitting. More so whenever you get ready to take off. Make sure that weight is forward. That might even change on an uphill. As you go to an uphill, you need to have your weight more forward because the bike is going to have a tendency to be light on the front end. So now would be a good time to just ride around a little bit and get comfortable with all of the things that we've worked on. Of course, do a few stops again to make sure that clutch release is right. Now that he's riding around, what we need to do is kind of follow along behind him a little bit and make sure that everything that we've talked about is what he's doing. And he's coming at me. I want to make sure that those fingers are on the clutch. They should be on the clutch all the time. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when you're going to need to pull in the clutch. You never know when you're going to need to use the clutch to build a little bit more power.
Sean, that was not the one we wanted right there. More throttle, more throttle, more throttle.
So remember,
Here's Sean's
keeping your
stand-up
head
look.
forward all the time is how you're going to maintain the most control over the front end. So let's take a look at what happens if the bike is going to move quickly going forward whenever you're standing and your legs are gripping the bike. You're going to go with the bike more. It's always a good idea to think about when you get ready to accelerate about leading the bike, meaning keep your head more forward. The more you bend your legs, the more your body is going to have a tendency to go back, the stronger the power is. So you got to be careful that you don't get jerked toward the back of the motorcycle, because that's definitely going to become a problem, and you're definitely going to be out of control. I see this happen all the time. Riders don't grip the bike with their legs enough. They don't keep the legs straight enough. They don't have their head over the front end of the bike. That's where all the control comes from. I am also a big fan of learning the power. It's a good idea to just hit the throttle, turn it on hard, stay in first gear, hit it hard, see how the bike is going to react, see what it's going to do to you, see what kind of control that you're going to have. Most of the time, when a new rider hits the power and he feels it, he gets a little out of control and he gets scared. Learn the throttle and how hard it comes on when you use it. So let's talk a little bit more about fingers on the clutch. Yeah, they should be there all the time, at least most of the time. You never know when you're going to need that clutch. You're going to need it to help shift the motorcycle. You're going to need it to build a little bit more power whenever it's bogging. You're going to need it anytime there is any kind of a problem. So keep it on there all the time, because you never know when you're going to need it. I think it's so important that if you take your fingers off of the clutch, we're done riding for today, and we'll take it up again tomorrow. Okay, so now that we've done all of that, and we should have it down pretty good, we're going to take a ride, and I'm going to keep an eye on what you're doing. I'm going to make sure that you're keeping that finger on the clutch while you're riding. I'm going to make sure that your body position is correct. I'm going to watch to be sure that you're doing everything that we've just worked on.
Always be ready with your brakes. That was good. You got to be ready with your back brake too, though.
So now let's see how you handle all the things we've talked about when we put you in a tight situation. We're going to learn to use the clutch and the throttle together while making tight turns so that you're controlling the power and how it's coming on the entire time. Yeah, you never know when you're going to be in a real tight enclosed area and you have to be able to turn. Many times riders that don't know how to use their clutch and their throttle together have a hard time making tight turns, so they have to go all the way down somewhere and turn around and start all over again. Once you get them down going one way, turn around and go the other way. Try to learn to do this as much as you can with your feet on the pegs in order to improve your balance. Okay, now that we've mastered all of that, let's lay out a little course, again, in a very flat area, maybe a little slight uphill, downhill, where you're working on your clutch and your body position, power application, tight turns, all the stuff that we just practiced. Now you get a chance to ride around a little bit and just focus on all that. And remember, keep your fingers on the clutch all the time, because you don't know what's going to happen next. So what's next? Riding on the balls of your feet. Why? Very important to be freer on the bike, to have more movement, and it keeps your weight more forward all the time. Unless you're braking or shifting, it's good to be on the balls of your feet. It lets you have more control over the motorcycle and be looser the whole time that you're riding. Being on the balls of your feet is important. If you decide you're going to start doing some jumping, or you're just riding out on the trails, you're going to find that you have more control. It's like riding a bicycle. You're not going to ride a bicycle with your feet in your arches. If you decide you were going to jump something with a bicycle, you'd better be on the balls of your feet, or you're not going to have any suspension whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, it makes it a lot easier when you get ready to stand up when you're on the balls of your feet rather than in your arches. Alright, so let's put it all together. So now we're just going to ride together and just kind of work on our body position and on our complete form everywhere on the racetrack, and be sure that we're ready with the power and the clutch. So now I take a little time and I ride with him just to see how his technique is. So let's throw a little freeze frame in here and look at him coming up the top of the jump. Oh, this looks really good. Head forward, arms out. Yeah, fingers on the clutch. Knowing how to make those nice tight turns, get ready, controlling the power the whole time. Again, stance, very important, particularly when you get ready to jump. You don't want to be hanging off the back of the motorcycle, particularly whenever you're going to hit the power. That's not usually going to end well. So I look at all these things while I'm riding along beside of him, making sure that he's doing all the things that he needs to do. If you're not a rider and you're not going to be out there riding, then I suggest that you take a lot of video where you can go back and look at it, and you can show the rider exactly what you saw so that he believes everything that you're telling him, because it's easy as a rider to go, oh no, I wasn't doing that, whenever you were. So the video is always going to help. So let's just ride along here just a minute and let's see what it looks like. Oh yes, every time I see a problem, we're going to stop and we're going to talk about what I saw, what we need to fix to make it better. Remember, this is only day 2 of a rider that has never ridden anything with a clutch and has no idea what you need to do when you're on the bike as far as form or how to use the power. It takes a lot of practice. You have to do it over and over and over again until you get it right. And by the way, no, we're not heading out to the trails and we're not heading out onto the racetrack until we have these things nearly perfect, or as close as we can possibly get them, because we certainly don't want to get out there and have a problem. Okay, there are some things that riders never learn to do. Even riders that I find with 1 or 2 years of experience still have never done this. It's learning to bump start your motorcycle. When you're sitting at the top of a downhill, rather than putting it in neutral and pulling out the Kickstarter, giving it 2 or 3 kicks, whatever it takes to get the bike to turn over, how about we do this easy? While sitting at the top of the hill, Let's pull the clutch in. While you're in gear, let her start rolling down the hill. And once it picks up a little bit of momentum, let the clutch out and the engine's going to turn over and you're going. Save yourself a lot of energy, a lot of effort. Okay, so now let's take a look at how we handle some of the situations whenever we get out on the racetrack or on the trail where we have some obstacles that are a little bit more difficult than that flat ground.
Stand up. Here's what you do. You lean more. That's right. You lean way into it. That's exactly what you're supposed to do right there. Exactly the way you're supposed to do. Lean way into it. Way into it. Going up the hill. That's the way it's supposed to do. Okay? I like that little bump. Put it out.
Okay, now we're in a situation. Let's see how we're going to get through this.
Go this way, just like that, okay, and then roll it till it goes sideways in the hill. Turn the wheel all the way to the side. Turn it to the right, turn the wheel all the way this way, otherwise it's going to go down the hill, okay? Now, let the brake off real easy. Okay, you got your in gear? All right. You can use your clutches now. Don't turn the wheel straight, because if you turn the wheel straight, you're going to go straight back down the hill. All right, here's what you want to do. Now, go pull the clutch in a little bit. All right, and let it roll around backwards so it turns sideways in the hill. Just keep it turning just like that. Keep it turning just like that all the way to the stop. Come on, let it keep rolling. I'm here to help you. Come on, keep it rolling. There you go. There you go. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Keep it turning. Keep it turning. Keep it leaned into the hill too. Keep it leaned into the hill. Keep it leaned right towards you. That way it can't get on top of you. Okay? Keep rolling until it gets sideways in the hill. You know, wait. Let me pull the clutch in a little bit. The clutch is keeping it from rolling. Okay, turn the wheel, lean it into the hill, keep it leaned to the hill, keep it leaned into the hill so it doesn't flip over on you. John, stay up here. Keep it turning it sideways. Until it gets completely sideways on the hill. A little more sideways, a little more. Okay, now here's what you do. What's that? Oh. Okay, now you can see, right? Okay, now here's what you do. Turn it a little more sideways in the hill, so it's just barely front wheel down the hill. Keep going backwards. That's it. Walk it like that. You can walk it like that. Walk the wheel like you were just doing. Walk it back and forth. Okay, now here's what you're going to do. Get on the bike, throw your leg on it, lean to the hill, keep leaning this way. Okay, now what you're going to do is, you're going to turn that way, and just hold the clutch in and ride it down the hill. Okay? Just turn it that way and go. Let it roll. Go on, ride it down the hill. There you go.
So there you go. You not only learned how to handle the situation when you don't make it up the hill, but now come at it a little bit faster, make sure that you have good power, and you're up top, and it's all good.
Love start.
Well, with all that practice and learning how to do it properly, handling all the situations that you come up with whenever you're out on the track or out on that trail becomes easier to deal with. So now I'm going to remind David about his first big downhill.
Hey Dave, you remember your first big downhill? You remember the downhill that I said, this hill, Dave, this hill over here? You remember your first big downhill? Well, Sean's going to decide, better get a picture of his face here. Sean's going to decide whether he's going to go down his first big downhill or not. Well, it's not much different than the other two we went down. What do you think, Sean? Stand up, do everything, same speed, everything just like before. Make the corner at the bottom. Okay, you want to watch Grandpa go down first? Yeah. Okay, Grandpa's going to go down first. Okay, probably better start the bike first this time now. Because we're ready to go. All right, here we go. If he starts the bike. There's all you do. Nice and easy, just like you did the other one. Don't go fast. Just leave it low gear and stand up. Okay, here comes Sean.
Can I bump start it?
What?
Can I bump start it?
You can, but you gotta stand up. Well, it's better if you stand up, though. Don't sit down.
I need to back up.
Start.
Back up.
What are you gonna do?
Back up.
You gonna start it first?
I need to back up.
You gonna start
back
it
up.
first?
Back up.
Hey, Dad will remember his first downhill. Hold your front brake while you start it. That's all. Don't panic. Treat it like everything else you went down. Don't do any different. Same thing you did everything else. Okay, let the clutch out. Well, you forgot to let the clutch out. Hey!
Wow, so there you go. We've conquered another one. Yeah, those downhills can be really scary, particularly if you panic. Lock up the brakes, particularly if you happen to grab a handful of front brake because you're scared. That could go really bad. But again, keep your finger on the clutch. Be ready. You can do that bump start, or you can start at the top of the hill with it already in gear. Whatever you feel the most comfortable with. But you need to take a little bit at a time. David, I started him on the big one. That's the way it is sometimes. Well, now that we've mastered most of the techniques, it's time to just go ride and have fun. Having fun, that's what it's all about. Whether you're riding with your grandson, whether you're riding with your son, your wife, your best friend, no matter who you're riding with, it's good to know that they have total control over the motorcycle and that they're going to be able to enjoy it and have fun and be safe. No matter who you ride with, it's important that you remember it's a process and it takes time. It takes repetition on everything that you're doing. So don't get in too big a hurry. Take the time to make sure that everything is right. And once you head out riding to have fun, you're ready to go. Well, proper technique is important. I've seen riders that have ridden for a year, 2 years, never have this kind of control, never look this good on a motorcycle. And that's because they've never had any advice or any training to be able to do it correctly. With that, y'all enjoy.